welcome to day 3 of Graph Expo in the Printiverse. Print Media Center, Deborah Korn. Nice to meet everybody. Nice to see everybody out there. Our 2 o'clock panel is, I would say, one of the most topical at the shows. Really here we haven't been focusing on products and services, but rather how printers can utilize products and services to enter new markets, generate new revenue. But the people sitting on this panel actually have new products and new services that are things that you should know about. If you don't know about, we're not here to sell, we're here to educate, just so everybody knows. So everybody can make their own decisions about what they want to do after the show. They can go visit everybody at their booths, they can get in touch with them on social media, but this particular panel will focus on things that we need to know. I have a print chat every Wednesday at 4 o'clock Eastern Time on Twitter, and I have crowdsourced questions prior to coming to the event, so I have some from the audience, and also Sandy Hubbard, who moderates Print Chat, is right now monitoring the live stream broadcast, and I'm getting notifications like crazy that people are signing up to follow it, so I know it's very popular at home, and the social streams are very active, so Sandy will also tell us some questions from the people at home. Don't look at me like that. And I will try not to play favorites. Skodex. Everybody knows I love Skodex. I mean, they tease me. See? They tease me when I say Skodex. Skodex. Okay, so let's briefly start off with, very simply, before we get into what you're here to discuss, who you are and what you do. John? We'll take it out, yeah.
My name is John Palazzolo, and I'm Director of Marketing and Sales for Adfos North America.
Hi, I'm Kim Owen, and I'm with a company called ClearEdge, but I'm here today representing Arific, who's a company from Sweden launching for the first time at Graph Expo this year.
Hi, my name is Amit Schwartz, and I'm VP Marketing at Skodex. And what we do is digital print enhancement. We are coming for Graph Expo for the 4th year in a row, and here we are launching a new solution, which is an addition to everything that we have done up till now, which is digital foil, Skodex foil. We'll probably discuss it afterwards.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Chili Man.
Hello, I'm Kent Dalzell. I'm the president of Fastbind USA. Fastbind USA imports and does sales and support for all Fastbind products throughout North America. We make case-making systems, book binders, and photo book binders.
I'm Jim Raffel, CEO of Colormetrics, but I'm actually representing Muto America, who is in a product line called Color Verify, which we'll get into more.
Hi, my name is Kevin Hubener. I'm CEO of Chili Publish, which is an online document editing solution.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. I'm very sorry I'm late.
It's okay. At least you showed up this time.
Thank you. I know.
I was about to permanently move Chili Publish off my banners. So
I would have understood that.
You've redeemed yourself.
Thank you very much.
Okay, I'll actually start with you because what technology, we're talking about new technologies and trends in the industry, so what technology are you here to discuss, and why can it not be ignored?
Well, technology. I think technology today is mandatory if you're doing any kind of business, if you want to automate stuff. There's pressure on prices, so I think technology, for me, technology itself is not that important. It's more the solution, and it's what you achieve with it. What we've seen the last couple of years is that customers want more control in any way. They want to be closer to the production process. They want to have faster time to market. And I think that's where technology like ours, but many other solutions in the market today actually offer benefit. And it's all about being online, being able to do more yourself, and I think that's the most important thing. And with Chili Publisher over the past years, we've actually changed the debate a little bit, where I think printers or production people, they used to not like technology, or they might have had a harder time with it, where today they all evolved to maybe having their own R&D team. And that's where we said, okay, I think it's important to offer companies like these a technology that they can build their own customized solution with. Because today you see that there's a lot of products in the market. We can all buy the same product, but how are we going to make any difference with our customers? It's about understanding the needs. It's about being able to tap into their data. Everybody's talking about big data. That's obviously very important. Being able to talk to their databases, take that content, automatically create production out of that, and automate it. And the better you can do that by technology, by actually using technology, the closer you will be to your customer and the more customer commitment you'll get.
And just very quickly, can you just let people know what Chili Publish is?
Yes, sorry.
And
I should
also-
promote
and
myself
also
a bit.
just stay back from the mic just a tad.
Okay.
Thank you.
So, like I said, Chili Publish is a online document editor, which basically means that we can edit, visualize, and brand control any graphical document in a browser. It's a very high-end solution, so we could do anything like a business card, but there's many solutions that can do business cards, but we can also do high-end packaging. We can do labels, we can do large format, we can do direct mail pieces. It's very visual, it's very intuitive to use, and it can be used by a professional and non-professional user. Also very important to know is that we don't rely on Adobe to do all of that. We can work with Adobe products, but we don't rely on them. I think that brings a lot of benefits. Adobe is not always very loyal to this industry. And that's really what Chili Publisher does. And today we have more than 250 customers in 32 different countries, and they all deploy various solutions. We have customers doing translation workflows. We have customers automatically producing labels, again tying into a database. We have customers creating a B2C portal for small business owners so that they can create their own brochures. And all of that happens online in the browser, either to your mobile devices or to your computer.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes.
What technology are you here?
Partnered with Muto over the course of many years to help develop their Color Verify product line. And the substantial change in the Color Verify product line over the last probably 2 years has been the addition of standardized color. And when I say standardized color, I'm referring to a set of standards, both international and domestic. One of them is the G7 brand, which is really just a branding of something called TR015-2013, which is a standard a technical paper published by the CGATS committee here in the United States. So that was kind of alphabet soup, but what it really means is that as Muto and other printer vendors release wide format devices that use different ink technology, Muto's known for their EcoSolvent. Well, they've added UV printers in the last year and a half, and they'll be adding some. They also do textile printing. All of those things are different. I mean, they're very different. The substrates are different, the inks are different, and the trick is to come up with a common visual appearance regardless of the printer, including brand. Even though this is a Muto branded product, one of the other goals is if a customer says, well, my whole shop is brand X, but I want to bring in one of your printers because this new printer is really unique, but how do I get it to look the same as all of my brand X printers? Well, that's why it can't be ignored, is because producers will be able to start picking equipment based on its unique capabilities, not its color capabilities, because we can standardize that.
Thanks so much, Ken.
Thank you. So at Fastbind, one of the technologies that we are presenting for the first time here at this show is a combination binding system. And one of the reasons that it needs to be discussed when you're making a binding machine purchase is the kind of books you're going to make and the the actual glue that you're going to use. That doesn't sound really exciting or technology specific, but what we're talking about is the versatility, the ability to invest into a machine that can handle the requests that you get from your customers, the requests you don't know that they're going to ask for yet, but the investment in the machine needs to be able to support the entire realm of products that you have to make for your clients. So we've manufactured a new perfect binder that allows you to select between EVA glue, which is a common glue used in all perfect binders today, and PUR glue, which is used mostly in the higher end or larger binding operations. Also, we allow you to choose between a soft cover and a hard cover. So we have the ability to have one machine that can produce many different types of book products for you and react to the market space. And I'll give you an example. There's a practical reason why you should be considering PUR if you're going to do bookbinding, and that is that the paper stocks that are being manufactured today and tomorrow and next month are better and better and better for your print engine, for your presses, but they're getting more and more difficult for standard glue binders to bind successfully. So you need to look at that and see where that's going, and that's one of the reasons why you should be looking at PUR. The other reason is more of a marketing issue. Customers are reading now that PUR is a better glue. So they're coming to you and saying, I want my book run done and I want this job done, but I want it done with PUR. And as a printer, you can say, well, yes, I'll do that, or no, I won't. But if you say no, you might lose that job. So you may be able to convince that customer that you can do it successfully with the binder you have, but as time goes by, there is more pressure for them to get what they want and for you to have to produce it with PUR. So we've produced a combination machine that allows me to be very versatile when I am addressing the kind of products that my customers are asking for.
And I'd just like to add that one of the reasons that you're here is because short-run bookmaking is a trend that printers cannot ignore at this point. And we had a panel last night that was very interesting. It was called Wine, Books, and Beers. We had a little cocktail party, but just address that a little before we go to Skodex, please.
That's a really good point. I don't want to go back to the old days, 4 or 5 years ago when there was a discussion between presses and offset and digital coming in, when that's a non-issue now. Digital is the future. Well, short run is really the future, but it's already here. Everyone wants to do longer and longer runs because they're more economical and we can do less sales and more profit. But the reality of the market is that people expect to get what they want right now. They want to get it quickly and they want it in the format they want it in. And we can't say no all the time. We can say no and they go somewhere else. The other issue is that it's kind of the same thing for all my life. I've always heard that 80% of our profit comes from 20% of our customers. If your big customers are asking you for something that you can't do, they're going somewhere else. So you need to produce products that they know they want, even if it's unrealistic. You have to supply these things. So the shorter runs are here to stay. And so a digital environment that can handle that can make it profitably. They can capture new markets and they can satisfy their existing customer base by being able to respond in kind.
Thanks so much. Amit, just pull the mic out.
Repeat the question, please.
The question is, what technology are you here to discuss, and why can it be ignored?
Great question.
Thank you so much.
The truth is that I'm not here to discuss technology. I think that technology is an enabler. It's a very important piece of everything that we are doing. I want to share a vision. About 7 years ago, at Skodex, which is a young startup company invented in Israel, there was a vision that says that anything that comes after print needs to be digital and needs to be economic and needs to be in a way that each one of the printers worldwide, definitely commercial printers, would be able to use. And with that vision, we started a company and revealed and explored more and more technology that would serve that vision. Coming here, what we have is the fulfillment of the vision, because we have one system, one digital enhancement press that allows you to do in a digital way effects, post-print effects like embossing, like silk printing, like viable data information, like braille, like metallic, and now we have launched foil as well, all of it in a digital way. And of course, this is being enabled by technology, and here I very much go with the question, but the essence of it is the vision. The vision that says that if digital printing was not available, the next wave is digital print enhancement. What happens after you print? And the direction that, just as an example, continuing the last discussion about publishing, the direction that publishing is going, definitely say that we need tools as an industry in order to cope with shorter run length and the challenge of printing books in lower quantities. But that needs to be addressed with the enhancement as well, because we as consumers still expect to get a book that has a cover that has either embossing or silk or foil, and the possibility of doing this in an economical way in run length of 1, 2, 10,000, 10,000, this is what our technology or our product or offering enables. The effect that you can choose between all of those enhancements and do each one of them in a cost-effective way. This is from one hand, and the second, you can do it in a very easy way in a straightforward process. So that's the essence of the vision and what we offer as a company.
Thank you so much. Ken?
Hi. Okay, so I think if we go to your question about trends, today we're seeing huge trends with self-service business models. And if you look at companies like Amazon or the grocery service. So Arific has an estimating tool, and their goal is to really help the printer make it as easy as possible for their customers to buy from them. So I think when we look at trends in general, it's really about what does your customer want today, and how do you make that transaction as simple as possible and remove as many barriers as you can, and allow them to do business with you. And what Arific has done is they've come up with a tool that makes it very simple for even the non-print buyer, the non-educated print person to go in and get a quote literally in seconds. And by making this tool SaaS-based, cloud-based, printers can do estimating immediately in-house. Their estimating department is allowed to use this tool to cut back on a tremendous amount of time and labor that it takes. Printer's rep can get a quote immediately sitting in front of a customer. So from a trend and technology perspective, they've made the tool available on mobile devices. It works on your smartphone, it works on your tablet, it's web-based. So they're really trying to break down those barriers that prevent a printer from getting a quote to a customer in an immediate way.
And also trend-wise, there's a trend now to look at your shop with lean manufacturing eyes, and making processes more efficient is certainly part of that. Also, when we met in Dublin, you gave me a very interesting stat about the time to purchase. Maybe you should share that, and then we'll go to John. Yeah,
and I think you have probably all experienced this, but particularly in the print industry, if you have a customer that's looking to get a quote, we've seen research, that's shown that if you don't get that quote back to the customer immediately, they're not going to wait. So the customer will buy typically from 35 to 50% of the time, they're going to buy that first quote that comes back to them. So if you're not on top of things and your estimating department is backed up and you don't get a quote back to that customer for a day or two, you may lose that business. So again, that's another, and help printers win more business by being able to respond immediately to their clients. And
it also eliminates backing up real jobs that need real attention for people who are price shopping.
Correct.
For lack of a better word. JP?
Thank you. So what Adfos does is we make digital print better. What I mean by that is, we all heard the expression, the inkjet Drupa and the inkjet Graph Expo. Inkjet is here, it is here to stay, and it is continuing to push the envelope both in speed and in quality. My friend here from Skodex mentioned, so what happens after you print? Well, in the world of inkjet, what happens after the ink comes out of those print heads? It has to be dried. And that's where Adfos really comes in to help in that process. At the end of the day, it's always about return on investment. What Adfos technology does, it is a totally different way of drying, and then the simple way, I'm not a techie person to explain it, is it's a difference between your conventional oven, which uses traditional infrared or maybe gas to heat things up, to a microwave. No, we don't use microwave technology, but what our technology enables inkjet providers or companies to do is to get to that ink very, very quickly, to dry it before it dives into the paper. So we give our customers faster speeds. We have a customer in the UK who installed our technology, and they're inside their traditional inkjet press. So there's already dryers in these presses, but these dryers traditionally are very uneconomical and very slow. So we've enabled this customer to actually up their inkjet speeds by up to 50%, and we've also enabled them to use a lower grade of paper because, again, we're getting to that ink very, very quickly. While it's still on top of the sheet, they're now able to use a lower grade of paper. And in addition to using the lower grade of paper, they're also saving about 50% on their energy costs. So both of these things together are enabling an ROI of about 6 months. So we basically enable customers to take their existing inkjet press, print on more substrates, faster speeds, lower cost substrates, and get an ROI in a matter of months traditionally.
And we had an inkjet panel this morning, and drying time actually came up as one of the things that printers were most afraid of entering this technology. So it's very relevant that you're on this panel, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
We'll go back to Chile down there. How are you educating and training your customers to get the most out of your products? Do you provide ongoing support, and how do you do that?
Yes. So obviously, like any software, any high-end software, we do provide support and training via our maintenance and support contract. But I think what we do, and is a bit more interesting, is we try to create a community. Developing a community, we call it the Spicy Talks. Chile published Spicy Talks. The Spicy Talks is basically our user conference, and we organized the first one last year. We had more than 250 users, and it was great to see how people connect, interact, and especially on our level where we really want to be this technology, everybody's building something different, depending on the needs, depending on the workflow, depending on the solution that they want to deploy to their customers. So I think communities is really the answer, and even when your commercial product, I think, well, most of the big players in this market do that, is to develop these and maintain these user groups, and that there can be as much knowledge sharing as possible, even more than the regular support and training and instruction.
Thanks so much. Jim?
Can you repeat it, please?
My God.
I know.
How are you educating and training your customers to get the most out of your products?
Okay.
And how do you provide ongoing support? I mean, color issues come up all the time. How are you helping your customers?
Yep, that's good. Okay, so the first thing we're doing is, as we're changing the model for the color tools in particular, working with Muto. So because I don't work for them, I can't speak specifically to how do they do that with their existing products and technology, but with the Color Verified product line, we are in fact building a robust set of documentation that is several things. It's traditional printed documentation delivered either as printed documentation or PDFs. It's PowerPoint slides that can be used that basically take that documentation and turn it into modules that can be used in a train-the-trainer scenario. It's developing a series of webinars that will be presented both live and then available as recordings, and it's setting up communities. So we will definitely have online places where people can reach out to us just like they can reach out to Colormetrics through either social media or, in many cases, private communities, private help desks, things like that. So it's using technology to both keep us in touch with the customer in touch with us, and most importantly, like our friends at Chile, the customers in touch with each other.
Thanks so much. Ken?
At FastBind, we have for the last 4 years now, either through our dealer net or directly with us, we support the customers. We offer a lifetime training and lifetime support. Whether it's a service issue or not really isn't the point. The point is that our clients need to know that they can call in and ask us to help them with a project they have. It may be something that they need for a new client. It may be a new twist on a different kind of product they're making through our binding systems or our case-making systems. Case in point is we have a lot of clients now that are looking at doing custom 3-ring binders. So they'll call us, and what we have is we have a demonstration center. I have Skype cameras on every machine. We'll call up and set up a Skype training session so it's live. YouTube videos are great, and we have a lot of them out there, but it's really difficult to see and ask and find out exactly what that small little thing is, or how do I do this. So we offer training in a live Skype demonstration opportunity so they can really understand, they can ask the questions, and then as well get retraining as new employees come on. We find that is probably the biggest thing we do right now, is retrain employees as either they're moved throughout the organization into another capacity or they're transitioned out or in. So it is often for us to be back on the phone every 4 or 5 months and help them learn again, even though they've been doing it for a while, because the goal is that the products have to go out perfect. They can't be good, they can't be pretty good, they have to be great. And we feel that it's in our best interest that our clients have all the training and knowledge they need.
I look at service and support and training from 2 levels. One of them is the level that each one of the customers that adopted our technology came to us with an idea of what he wants to do with Scodix, where does he see this fits in his workflow, where does he see that he's going to make more money and save cost on things that he's doing today. Our first level of training and support comes in order to make sure that this is happening. So we target the application that he wants to target, and we make sure that our equipment, our workflow, the solutions, the things that he can do, all of them would enable him to make money in the vision that he had or the idea that he had when he purchased the equipment. This is something we do with each one of our customers, and each of the technology ways of doing education and training today is a way that we would use, starting from, of course, on-site and going up to WebExes and one-on-one and maybe even group training. The second level is the level that we come a few months after installation, and then we have a brainstorming session with our customers, and we say, okay, that was your vision, you have started to do this application, this is what you have done, you have made for you, and you are able to save cost on things that you have done in an analog and unproductive way in the past. Now, let's see how we can take our equipment and our possibilities and go to the next level. What else can you do? When we come to that, we do not come with answers, we come with knowledge of what other customers are doing around the world. We have around 200 customers worldwide. They are doing amazing works. You can see some of them over here on the shop floor. We have a competition of design award with many work that has been done from all over the world, starting from Australia and India and ending with Latin America, and of course many works from the US as well. We show what can be done with our equipment, what other people are doing with our equipment, and we brainstorm together what would be relevant, if at all, to that specific customer and to the customers that he serves. And if there is a fit and if there is additional direction that he wants to take, then we would offer all help possible, both on the technical side of how do you implement it, what do you need to do, what do you need to pay attention, and definitely on the business side. And we would have a discussion that says, what do other people do, then what did not work, and try to tailor a solution that would help him to grow his business with Scodix, because in the end, this is what we aim to do when we get a new customer to our family, to our team. How do we make sure that he makes more money with Scodix now and going forward?
Thank you so much. Kim?
Okay, so I'm just going to preface this by saying Arific's a little bit different in terms of how they're set up and how they do business with customers. And one of the barriers that they were trying to overcome in terms of helping their clients with estimating software was to really get involved in the setup process, because we've seen a lot of instances with complex software solutions where a printer will buy the system, it gets, they get in a situation where they're trying to get it set up, and then day-to-day business takes over. There's no resource, they don't have the capabilities in-house, or they get sidetracked. So the way Arific handles support is that when the printer buys the solution from them, because it's cloud-based, Arific will actually work with the printer and input all of that printer's data directly for the printer. So they'll put in the information on the presses, the costs, the labor costs. They'll work with the printer to put their paper setups in there. They will do all of this, and they can help maintain that if there are changes going forward, or give the printer access to make updates themselves if a paper vendor changes, etc. So it's actually quite straightforward. There really isn't a lot of support involved with this particular solution as far as estimating goes. The only area where you might see a little more support is if the printer chooses to interface this tool with an existing MIS system. So there's an API involved there, and that can be worked out kind of on an as-needed basis.
Thank you so much. John?
Thank you, Deborah. Very similar to Kim, our equipment itself really doesn't need and will always be about people. So on the front end of the relationship with our customers, really getting to know what they need, what are their hot buttons, what is important to them. ROI comes in a bunch of different ways. Again, lower cost papers, faster printing speeds, better print quality, and really getting to know what their hot buttons are, what's important to them, so that when we come to providing the solution, we know what's going to work and what it's going to do. Now, we do have, it is hardware based, so there are some issues with that sometimes. And in that case, we actually have the ability to go ahead and tie in and connect directly via computer, via the internet, to the equipment, where we can diagnose immediately if there is an issue, what that issue is, what needs to happen, so that we can respond very, very quickly if they need parts, if it's merely an adjustment, something like that. But again, there's nothing that takes the place of that face-to-face, directly sitting across the table from someone and making sure that the solution that we're providing up front is what they need, and then being able to support it and keep it up and running and working for them going forward.
And I'll actually stay with you, John.
Okay.
Based on your market segment, what trends should printers be paying attention to, and what is on the way out?
Well, what we've seen is, there's particularly in the world of inkjet, there's many different technologies, actually squirting the ink, so to speak. Clearly, we're seeing a lot more where people, again, the inkjet speeds are coming faster and faster. We're seeing, in ink chemistries, there's UV inks, there's water-based inks, there's solvent-based inks, there's all these different ink formulations. And what we're seeing is the ability, better life through chemistry, right? So we're actually starting to see where there were applications that maybe were only able to be run with maybe UV curable inks, now able to being run with water-based inks. So we're seeing more of a trend to get away from sometimes some of the UVs, going to more a UV or a solvent-based chemistries to more water-based chemistries.
Thanks so much.
Thank
Kim?
you.
Hi. Okay, so I think trends, I touched on it earlier, but I think the trends today really involve being mobile friendly, tablet friendly, being able to support different platforms with your solutions, because your customers are living in this world today. We all do it. We use our smartphones for everything. We order online. So I think that is a trend we can't ignore. That's not going to go away. And it's really about making it easy to do business with a printer and making it easy for your customers to buy from you and simplifying that process as much as you can. I mean, that's kind of how I'm seeing things right
And
now.
let me just ask you a question as a user, someone who would actually use your system. Can I access it through a tablet or a phone, or do
Yes.
I need to go to a website?
No, it's mobile friendly. We're support for phones, tablets,
And
websites.
is it an app that the printer would have, or is it just I just go to their site and there it is?
It can be set up however you like, but typically the printer will set it up and they can have it right on their homepage. Get a print, press this button, and link in with whatever kind of setup they have today. We're, again, trying to make it as easy and seamless as possible.
Thanks so much, Mr. Skodex.
Trends. I think that the major trend that we see is that only printing is not enough anymore. I think that everybody knows how to do printing, everybody knows how to do good printing. Digital printing is not enough as well, because everybody knows to give a service and a solution within a very short time frame. So this is not enough anymore as well. So what is there in order to differentiate, to be different? The trend is to get more and more into the enhancement. What are you able to offer your customers on the enhancement side? And this is the trend that we are trying to accomplish in Skodex. And I think that this goes hand in hand with the trend of going less and less. We talked about publishing a few minutes ago, but these go hand in hand in commercial work as well, in packaging work, folding carton market as well. There needs to be a solution for the flexibility and the shorter run length. Not everything in our life is going to continue to be 50,000 copies, 100,000 copies. The solution needs to be in 1, 10, 100 copies, thousands copies, and that needs to be the same solution that would be up to 1,000. That is a trend. It's happening. It takes its time, just like any trend that happens around our world, but it's definitely happening.
And I'd just like to add that Skodex actually touches upon another trend, which is one-to-one communications, because you can personalize with your machine. Maybe you could tap into that a little. I mean, you can personalize the foil, for example.
Yeah, that's a great example. Up till now, foil was a technology that was very clear that you would use it if you have a very long run length, because you need a die, you need the molds, you need the time, you need to do it probably outsource. It's complicated. So you do it only if you have a run length, which is a few thousand. What we have done is that we took this technology and we made it digital. And now you have digital real foil in a digital way. So it gets into short run length, but even more, just like Deborah just mentioned, you can have personalized foil. So if you are doing publishing, you can do book with a run length of 1 with foil. If you are doing direct mail, you can do a run length of 1. If you are doing invitation, you can do a personalized foil invitation per person. This is something that was never there before, definitely not in the level of cost that we are offering, which is we do not mind really whether you're doing 1, 100 or 1,000, because for us, there's no setup. And the personalization and the one-to-one marketing all ties hand in hand, and they go together with the trends that we feel today.
Thank you very much. Ken?
We agree wholeheartedly with my friend here at Skodex. The trend that we see is it's not saying no to the short run. The trend now is how can I exploit that particular operation and get more short runs of that model so that I can increase my business and increase my profit. Short run really means that I have opportunities out there for more of it, and I can charge a slightly higher price than if I have to compete for those long runs where everyone else can do it. So saying no is not the answer, but looking at how I can take that opportunity and grow more business out of it and look at that as a great opportunity instead of a negative opportunity.
And also, I would just like to say that you also contribute to, we talked about the trend of short any printer to get into them. These are tabletop machines. These are not giant machines that they have to cart in with trucks and make room for. So this is a gateway drug, so to speak, to the bigger bookbinding
Yes,
business.
that's correct. The short run ultimately means that I need to do small amounts. I don't need big machines. Sometimes the bigger machines take an awful lot of work just to get them set up and run.
Right.
So I need to also be able to respond on the finishing end, so the machine doesn't have to be big. Now that doesn't mean just because it's tabletop that it's small or it's plastic or it's not a production machine, but it does mean it's more manual, it's more one-to-one.
Right.
But I can respond quite quickly, but I can do it profitably.
Right.
I can make 1 or 3 or 17 in a profit. What I decide is that a market I want to be in? At what price point can I make a profit? And that's the decision of whether I do the job or not. It's not, I can't do it at a profit.
When we've been sharing information about your machines, we've been saying their minis are mighty. Jim,
Deb, I remember the question.
I am thrilled to death to hear that, because I forgot it.
So let's start with what's going out, in my opinion. In my opinion, any sort of proprietary color system is going out. And that's with good reason. If you have to use special inks in your printer that don't come from your manufacturer, if you have to use a special piece of software that only you can use that piece of software with only those inks, that might be something to stay away from, because it's a gotcha. And if they don't support the next printer you buy, then you're stuck. And if they don't support the printer you want to buy, then you're stuck. And so what's in is standardized color. Doing things in software that maybe we used to do in, if you think of ink as part of the hardware, that we used to do in hardware. So software is forever malleable. It can be changed. It can be improved. And that's what we're seeing. I mean, just the iterations that our G7 calibration tool has gone through in the 2 years we've been working on it are phenomenal. And it's tweaked and tuned specifically for the inkjet world, which is very different. Why would I put special inks in my printer when I can use the inks from the manufacturer, and I can use the manufacturer inks in each printer if I have 3 different manufacturers, and I let the software adjust the color instead of letting the hardware, again, if you include the ink as part of your hardware. So that to me is really the key, is to simplify your systems so that you're tweaking one thing and one thing only, and it's fixing the rest of the process for you.
Thanks so much, Chili Man.
Thank you. I actually want to elaborate on what's going out. From a software perspective, I would say stay away from one-size-fits-all software. We've been doing that for so many years. We're just buying one big piece of software from one manufacturer. I mean, that might have been a great idea 10, 15 years ago when IT resources were very, hard to find and they were very expensive. Today, I would recommend to stay very far away from that. And have a different approach, which is just buy a couple of modules. And that's one of the reasons why we consider ourselves just one module of a bigger solution, because that way you will never be stuck. You'll be in control of your framework, your total solution. And if tomorrow one module doesn't do the job anymore, or you need to adjust, as we have to do every year. Every year we have to adjust our business. You can invest in a new model and you can just throw that away, replace that, or enhance that. So that, for me, it's definitely going out. Trending is something that I think is very important and still underestimated, and some of the people here at the table will probably agree with me on that.
If you could just pull back just a little.
Sorry.
Thanks.
Okay. Is the possibility to visualize your artwork or your print online. We all want to sell more online. Everybody wants to sell it online. But there is no point in trying to break prices. What we should try to do is we should show the added value. We should show how great the product is, just like in the old days when people would walk into a print shop or walk into a printer and actually come, feel, and touch, whatever was produced. So for a couple of years, we've been really working hard on visualizing stuff in 3D because we believe the better you can visualize it, the better your customer will understand why he's paying a premium price, and he will will understand, how it works and what the benefits are. And especially now that print is becoming a premium product in my eyes, it's not a commodity anymore, or less a commodity in my eyes. I think that's really important.
Thank you so much. And we're going to wrap this up because Pitney Bowes is going to have a special event here. But why don't you just let people know here where your booth is, and if you're not sure, everyone's information is right on your little 10 cards.
Okay, so the website, chili-publish.com, booth 441. Well, I don't want to compete with these guys here, but we do have a happy hour from 4 to 5. And you can find us at Twitter as well, Facebook, all your regular social media. Thank you.
If you want to find me personally on Twitter, it's my last name, Raffel, not Leel. And then, again, I'm representing Muto, which is just muto.com. They're in booth 4241, and they're just at Muto America on Twitter.
Thanks so much.
Great. Fastbind, we're right over here in the corner at 3245. You can find us at fastbindusa.com. Also, we're at Twitter.
You can find our website is scodix.com. Our booth over here is 2231, and our Twitter is at scodixsense.
Thank you. Arific, which rhymes with terrific, is actually right next door to the Printerverse.
Yay.
We're right over there.
Skål to my Swedish friends.
Booth 3864. The website is arific.com, ARIFIQ, and on Twitter it's Arific or at Arific Official. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Johnny P.
Dankeschön. Adfos, you can reach us on our website, adfosna as in NorthAmerica.com. Also, we are in booth 2252 or on Twitter at 2252. That's 2252.
I was saying that booth wrong for a few days there.
Or on Twitter at Adfos. So, again, thank you.
Thanks everyone so much for the panel. Everybody please stay, have some coffee, tea, and snacks. Pitney Bowes' presentation on how to become world class is going to start at 3 o'clock.